Morning, everybody. Good morning. And I have with me the often told just property royalty in Mr. Jensen Lee and Nathan Emerson of Propertymark. Gents, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
That good.
That good.
And
very
Jason,
good. Very good.
Thanks for breaking from the fox hunt that you've clearly just come from this morning. That's an impressive.
Absolutely. Tally ho.
You're getting a different quality of attendee and guest this year. Is that what you're telling me at Propertymark One? Good. Well, look, we're not joined by...
I can take it to your level.
Oh,
bear with me one moment. There we go. Will this help?
Yes. That. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it goes together, but anyway, you know me and much. My biggest fear is one day, Jason, that one of those is going to appear on Crime Watch, and the worst thing is, I'll probably still get quite excited. And speaking of Crime Watch, my dear partner in crime, Mr. Mintz, can't be with us today. Unfortunately, his nipper's a little bit ill, so he's being fantastic. Nurse Nightingale. So best wishes to you both there. So you've got the ultra professional Simon Whale. Fine. Okay. Your silence again says millions. Right. Jason, we caught up obviously when you first announced this, but you were teasing me as usual, not giving me any info because you know I would have broken every NDA under the sun. A lot has changed, obviously, I think in the last few weeks. Do you want to just give us a bit of an update as to what's changed and what people can be expecting?
Yeah, well, we've announced all the speakers now. All the keynotes are now out there and on the website for everyone to see. We're really excited about the new ones to join the ones that we've already announced because I think it really does make a very good blend throughout the day. And there's some pretty big hitters out there as well. We've got Big Phil, Mr. Phil Spencer. Of Move IQ fame, and obviously location TV and everything along those lines. He is doing his only keynote speech this year for us at Propertymark One. So we're really excited about that, to finding out what he thinks is happening out there in the market.
I always love seeing Phil because he always reminds me that he does have a exclusion order on me to stay at least 100 meters away from him, which is why, if you remember at Agents Giving, I did obviously bid to spend a lunch with him after location. And he at one point I think was going to start bidding against me just to win it back. So I am going to make sure that I lock that in because he needs to deliver. He needs to deliver, Mr. Spencer.
I don't want to do as he always does.
So let's just put a bit of context around it. He's obviously fantastic. Angie Cooney, if you're out there, that again, I know, she resembles that lady out of Misery whenever she sees Phil as well. So that's fantastic. You've got the housing minister. You got Lee Rowley, haven't you, as well?
Yeah, we have. Again, very, very excited to have that. Obviously, with announcements which have come out recently, it's brilliant that we've got somebody on stage that's actually going to face the public really and talk to us about hopefully what's going on, if he knows what's going on. But really, really excited about that because agents out there want to know what's going on.
And the date, once more, and this is really relevant, obviously, when you're talking about a politician, that's the 14th of June here. Now, the heavy rumours from, obviously, which I'm sure Nathan probably has already had it penciled in by his contacts, obviously, from Parliament. But there's a good chance they're talking about now, or June or July, aren't they? A rumour. Do you have a gut feel on that? Just personal opinion, do you think it will be, or are they going to go safe for the end of the year? Or you're not allowed to comment?
I'll be saying too much, but I think with all these things, the longer you've got to prepare...
I'll leave the comments for Mr. Emerson on that.
So there's a lot of rumour going around, a lot of dates flying around, and pros and cons each way, Simon, to be fair. So I think actually what he's got to say will be extremely relevant. I'm hedging my bets further to the end of the year, if I'm brutally honest. I think that makes more sense. It gives more time for what they're proposing to trickle down. So, but we should watch this space. Who knows? It's politics.
That's the excitement of it, not like our lovely little stable industry. And let's go on to the next one, though. So we've got Claire Williams, the amazing Claire Williams as well. So what's she going to be giving us an insight? So am I right in thinking she was the most prominent and successful woman in Formula One? So that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
I'll say over to you on this one, Jace.
Yeah. Again, yeah. I mean, it's a very exciting one. This one, yes, she was the highest powered female in Formula One. She took over Williams Formula One racing from her father, Frank Williams, who set it all up. And obviously they won various races with Damon Hill and Nigel Mansell, and lots of stellar names out there that have all driven for Williams. And she was running 1,000-strong team in probably one of the most competitive markets out there in Formula One. So she's been there, done that, seen it. Business-wise, fantastic, and she's going to show you how to sort of like drive and show not drive as in the car, but drive your business, how she used to do it with hers. So really great.
That's got to be one of the most male-dominated sports around, isn't it? So it's doubly relevant what she achieved, obviously, there. Yeah, okay, that's fantastic.
And I think equally, Simon, I think just to add on to that, I think this is also, another environment where we're seeing, strong women that have come through that have actually made a good success of what they've done and taken on unbeatable challenges, really, and I think, not only was she instrumental in continuing that journey, but also picking their results up, reforming that team and taking it on to a new level. So having seen a snapshot of some of the areas you're going to talk about, actually I think a lot of it's very relevant for our industry as well, certainly with the team building, certainly with the driving of results. We all do it within our teams, and whether it's a small team or a large team, you need to pull those people together, and there's a lot of tricks and tips that can do that.
Got you. And we were mentioning, obviously, politics earlier, and which obviously fantastic to be able to have somebody there from a neutral standpoint. So you've got Daisy McAndrew, former economics editor and chief political correspondent of ITV News. So that's going to be great to add some balance there as well.
Yeah, and I think the
lineup. The lineup as a whole. Sorry, we're talking over it. Go on, Nate. You go.
Oh, you go. Because I'm being a gentleman today. It's Sunday.
No, I insist.
Okay, just because you insist. I think the beauty with again that is we need to know what's going on in the economy. We need to know where it is, but we wanted to be able to achieve that without a political bias.
Yeah.
And I think that's been the challenge really. We were very careful about who we selected for this. And I think Daisy's quite outspoken. She's prepared to say it as it is and justify what she's saying from a very knowledgeable background, and the media side of things also gives an insight into what's actually going to be happening and how that integrates with the news as well. So it could be a really, really fantastic session, that. And I think for people planning their businesses for the next 2 years ahead, they have to make a decision on when to invest or what to do. And I think actually to get an idea where the economy is going to be, especially with an election looming and especially with interest rates and inflation, we've been very careful to try and make sure we've got something that's going to capture all of that in one environment, really.
What did you? I mean, obviously last year, I think it was the biggest event that was put on last year in the industry, and it was obviously at Wembley, that one. It was amazing to see how many people there from just all around the industry were there. What did you set out to achieve anything notably different, or was it just going to be a little improvements here or there, or was there a complete change of focus for this year?
I think last year was excellent to do it, because it was the first time they put everything under one roof, because we used to have the separate conferences. So it was a big leap what we did. We did it all internally as well, which was even better for us, because it allowed us to have a little bit more control. We made a success of it. It needed a few tweaks, and what we've actually done is listen to what people have said about it, and so we have tweaked it, we have changed, not just the venue, but how it all sets up, and not just with the keynote speakers, because we, as Nate says, we've carefully selected them so they complement each other every way through each session, and I tried to make it as though it appeals to those businesses out there, and how they go from there every day, every week, every month. There's little sections which is going to assist them. But in addition to that, we've also brought out separate breakout sessions as well, which are going to go. There's one before lunch and one just after lunch.
So yeah, sorry, just give us a bit of an overview on that, because I do think that's going to be a really, really key factor of the day. People are going to get a lot out of those, aren't they?
Yeah. We did it so people can plan their day, really, and they can go and see whatever they want, really, because there's different aspects throughout business what people need to do. So, from the lines of, we've got various different things such as customer service, how to do videos. We put videos out there, and have a look at the PVS video on that as well. It is fantastic. Have a look at that. But it's really just a case of selecting them about material information. We've got all the key speakers with regards to that. James Monroe, we've got Rightmove, who are obviously headline sponsors there as well. Yep. They're going to talk to us about how to put it on there. We've got the agent's perspective as well. We've got various things of what's happening out there in lettings legal. We've even got Rory Cowan coming down from Scotland to talk about how they adjusted with things that happened in Scotland and how it could affect England going forward. So we've tried to look at everything where people and agents and people in the business have got concerns, and try to put a little session on for them, and they can pick and choose which ones they want to do.
Well, the public are speaking. Here you are, Zoe. Morning, Zoe. Propertymark. This is so exciting. Morning, Mr. Martin Baum. I'm going to get back to you at some stage as well. Lovely to have you here. Here we go. Looking forward to P-Moan. You've got, is there a link to buy tickets? Stop getting ahead of yourself, Zoe, honestly. And then Bar's social media extraordinaire bar none. We have Mr. Toby Martin here. So breakout sessions is where it's at. I hear there's a particularly good video masterclass. You never have to apologise for self-promotion on a kerfuffle. Love that. Absolutely love that. What stands out for me is many events have a couple of key speakers. We still haven't even covered two of those. So you've got Katie Piper, who's absolutely fantastic. Her, what she's come through when you're having a let's say a bad hair day and everything else, and you hear about her trials, tribulations, and just her eternal optimism. It does put you to shame in terms of if you are having, I'm not talking about not having bad thoughts for the right reason, but if you're focusing on stuff that isn't that important, she will snap you back out of that, won't she? I think that's going to be a lovely one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're having it's going to be like I suppose they call it these days a fireside chat with her as well. So it'll be, we've actually asked Katie Griffin to come along and do a one-to-one chat with her and discuss things. So questions, we need them from people out there. So please send the questions into Katie Piper that we will ask them direct.
How do we do that? Because obviously last year, Jason, the app was pretty good. Are you going to have that same app? Is the app going to be there in advance, or is it just kind of downloadable on the day? How do they get those questions over for the various speakers?
Yeah, again, there's something that we brought back from last year. We have a bigger, better, bolder app, to use my phrase, which has been out there again. It has been strenuously tested. Mr. Emerson has tested it himself as well. So it will be released earlier so people can get the questions in and start to contact people about the event prior to as well. And that includes the suppliers. You can actually book appointments with suppliers in the exhibition hall through the app and do it that way. So it will be going live soon, and people will be able to put the questions into Katie Piper, but we're also going to be doing it with Claire Williams as well. So we're going to do a fireside chat with Claire Williams, and I'm pleased to announce the person that's going to be hosting that is Anne Garrett. So she's the incoming president that's going to be coming in for all Propertymark next year. And I'm delighted that she's agreed that she would do the talk with Claire as well.
No, that is absolutely, that's going to be absolutely great. And in terms of, and then the only one we haven't out of all these top ones, but and who's going to be our host for the day?
Jenny Faulkner. She did a fantastic job last year. We only threw the script at her 2 minutes before she actually walked onto the stage, and that was genuine. And so she was fantastic. She was the consummate professional. She's known in property. She's done various shows, and it was just an obvious choice to keep the continuity as well.
She was fantastic. Anybody who can keep Russell Quirk under control as my absolute tick there. So that was fantastic. I think it was a lovely different vibe. You know, I mean, I'm obviously Mr. Conference will famously turn up to the opening of an envelope, but the I don't know what it was. Obviously, the location was fantastic there. You're moving it around again to go back to Excel, where obviously it's probably kitted out as well for being bigger and better, especially from the supplier's point of view. But I think the type of people there, other conferences can sometimes get a bit samey, can't they, in terms of the attendees? And what I really liked about that was it was a really fresh breath of air in terms of everybody who was coming along. We certainly got a lot of great feedback from people who are talking on the Kerfuffle side of things about, obviously, considering that was your first. I mean, I know you've been doing them for years, but to give feedback on this one as a first one, I think was very, very, very impressive. But I'm a little bit mono-focused on one particular aspect, as I think you know where we're going with this. So talk to me about the after party, fellas. Oh, and by the way, there is a special deal coming for tickets. So it's not one of those ones where you can jump off. You have to stick them. I'm doing the classic Alan Partridge. I'm keeping you live on the podcast until you get what you need at the end of it. But talk to us about the after party, fellas. What can we expect?
Well, obviously, I'm going to let Jason go through the venue of all this, but obviously, all I can say is for those people who last year thought, "Shall we go to the after party? Shall we go to the after party?" It was absolutely blinding, and it was out of this world. It was a phenomenal event for an after party. It was great. And so in fairness, this year I think it's bigger, bolder, better, but in a very different way. I'm going to let Jason just tinkle you with a little bit on that, because we're keeping a few bits away on that.
Tinkle me, Jason, tinkle me.
Tinkle you like keys of a keyboard. We're going to keep a few bits private though, aren't we, Jason? But there's a few little surprises in there, but it's a new phrase that we've coined. Fire away, Jace.
Oh, tinkle away, hey. Right. Last year we were really, really lucky because obviously we had the stage at Wembley, and who wouldn't want to have the opportunity to come on and sing on that stage? And there were some fantastic people that went on and belted a few tunes out there. The Excel is a fabulous place for exhibitions, but it doesn't have that gravitas with regards to, oh, I must go there for a party afterwards. Next to Excel is a certain hotel called the Sunborn. For those that have been to Excel before, they will know that it is a yacht. So what we have actually done is hired the whole of that yacht, bedrooms and all, deck and everything, to have our after show party on that. So after the Propertymark One conference finishes, there'll be time to freshen up. And then at 7 o'clock, the party boat will begin with canapes and fizz, lots of music, live music, disco. And as I mentioned earlier on, there was a couple of people that belted out some songs on the stage at Wembley. So we're not doing karaoke this year.
Come on, deliver it. Deliver the line.
We are doing karaoke.
Oh, okay, that's what. So brilliant. Okay, so all I need to do is learn to sing, not embarrass myself, get past security. I mean, this is offering up a real potential here. So that sounds great. Can I just ask a little question? There's rumours going around you put it on a boat because everyone knows I get terminally seasick. So did that actually enter the thinking at any stage?
It was at the beginning of the thinking, Simon.
Yeah.
But your listeners, your fans, they called out to us and they said, look, you've got to do something to catch Whaley unaware, because he's done everything from dwarf throwing to wild parties to anything you can think of. What has he never done and what could he never achieve? And we thought, there you go. So actually you were the centre of all of our plans with this. And even the agenda in the day, even the agenda of the day was to ensure it wasn't just fun. It's serious. There's some really good content in there. They can make their own agendas to whatever business owners feel are right for the staff and for them. And then afterwards, there's a celebration to bring everybody together, a proper team building, networking event. We know these things work, but we just tried to get that mix of seriousness, bit of fun, and a bit of team building, conversation, CPD, let's not forget that, and also networking, which I think is the most important thing. 1,500 people, all networking, all professionals in the same environment.
Let me look up CPD and then I'll comment on that. Okay, fine.
You can't eat it, you can't drink it, and you can't smoke it.
Well, I've always loved a challenge, but anyway. So as long as I don't end up on the Bibby Stockholm as well by accident, then it'll be a good night. Honestly, I feel like we're amongst royalty here. I should have. Here we go, and as well. Oh, hang on a minute, Mary Lou. I've missed the first one. Hang on, this is how amateur art is. Here we are. If it's anything like last year, it will be sensational. Now, Mary Lou, you are a little bit biased, but I still take your comment on board, and it absolutely was, and we're going to be looking forward to it. Just going back to your point there, though, I think one of the things that does work best when you've got these kind of breakout sessions is clearly everyone's there to have a fantastic time, but there is, because everyone's so busy these days, we spoke about it first time round, Jason, isn't it? There is a residual kind of sometimes, oh God, can I afford to take the time out? And what I think is, or can you afford to take the time out, not just for myself, but some of the key people I'd like to take? What I think is fantastic about those breakout sessions is if a number of you go along, you can literally have, one of you attend the different ones and then have a kind of catch up when you get back to the office and think about, is that right for our business? And I think that's, in that way, you tick all the boxes. Of course, you've got networking, the fun, the inspirational stuff, but you're literally able to double down on that learning and even the CPD bit you spoke about there, Nate.
Yeah, and we've had that feedback already from quite a few people that have already booked on, that they're booking those sessions, because it's good you can get to choose them, and we see the ones that they're choosing, and there's a really, really good mix, and everybody's getting bookings on them. So every session has already started to get those bookings on them already, so they can plan their day. And as you rightly said, people are sending their team to different ones, and then they're going to collate it all afterwards. And one of the major things that we're really, really pleased and proud of is the exhibitor room itself is massive. It's certainly bigger. It's bigger than last year. We had issues with Wembley last year with regards to the amount that we could get in there, but we've gone for it this year. We've got over 60 suppliers there. We have officially sold out. I'm just waiting for a couple of the contracts back. So we have sold out on them now. So all the stands have gone. And it's testament really to the brilliant suppliers that are out there, want to get involved and put their wares on, but also our members as well, that they want these suppliers to go along, because we've had requests from some members, can you get them along because we want to see them? So we've gone out there and hunted them and got them on. But we've also made it clear to other suppliers that they're not coming along and exhibiting. Book a ticket. Come along, come and chat, come and network.
That's massive, Jason, because actually, and I understand the reasoning behind it, it's probably because they are limited in terms of space, but some of the other ones can be really, really restrictive if you're not going to be, exhibiting there. Sorry, and I've always had a problem with that. And I think, it is, they are a key part of our industry and everything else there. So to have as many people as you can do alongside it is vital, I think. And I just going back to it before, obviously, what you've got everyone remembers probably the old Property Computer Show, which, for years now, obviously it stopped during COVID like so many did, which was literally, a proper exhibition. And that used to be an absolute centre point for so many people coming along, looking to plan their suppliers for the year ahead. And it has left a gap. You guys absolutely filled it, I think, on the Arla side of things, you know, because you've been at XL, been able to have that approach as well. But going forwards now, you've got this across both sides of the industry, haven't you? From sales, lettings and everything. And I think that's another one where this, and again, I suppose the clue's in the name. This is why it is the one conference to getting all Lord of the Rings to own them all, isn't it?
Indeed. And I think a lot of the products now, Simon, as we know, you used to get very letting specific products, very sales specific products. We're finding as the world is changing, a lot of these products are crossing over multiple borders. And actually, we start to think about where, the future looks, and we're starting to see the AI coming on. A massive presentation I think we've got coming in on AI as well. Dave Garland coming back to do that. And he was absolutely mind-blowing last year, getting everything right from the heart of Silicon Valley. They're the things we need. They're what people need to see. But those suppliers now are crossing a whole breadth of sales and lettings. People are wanting a more professional approach, and we want to make sure our members have got access to those people and those companies and those products to make the informed decision as to what to buy. And the networking part of things is encouraged to help them all talk, and we want as many people in that room to be part of the conversation. And again, I think we're a big driver in a lot of the prop tech solutions as to how they evolve with our member groups and our working panels that we do. So, we are already heavily involved with a lot of those prop tech solutions, to actually make them fit for the working practice. But the more people we can get involved in those conversations, the more we can enrich it, and the more we can make sure that everybody's delivering what we need to do in order to do the front line role, really.
I mean, the overriding thing, we've been surveying thousands of A's now, for the last 4 years. And without a shadow of a doubt, what comes back is one of the main challenges and problems with suppliers is that they don't integrate, they don't work together. So that ability to have people in the room having the right conversations, and as you said, those tectonic plates are forming now. It used to just be the portals that really kind of acquired businesses, but you've got everyone from CRM companies through to the likes of Iron Property now, all of these businesses that are buying other ones that literally fit into into genuinely their own tech stack. And that's where it gets genuinely interested, I think. And of course, just find me in my mobile stand. You probably won't be able to ignore me, but of course, I'll give my unbiased opinion on obviously what's there. And you've been practicing what you preach, guys, haven't you? So for now, I know you've got even bigger plans. You've obviously gone somewhere, but you've got that whole reach program as well, haven't you? To give advice, help these suppliers develop forwards, help them do the integrations, get to the people they want. So you're really now, you've always been obviously exceptional in terms of supporting the agents, but you're also now really delivering on both sides of the divide.
We're trying to. We've conjoined with TDS and Reach to put a whole package together to try and help some of these solutions that are right for our industry and the ones that are right for our members to actually formulate, get themselves sorted, and be able to offer products at an affordable price. And I think that's a most important part for us, really. It's, we do know that the world isn't the high, the fees aren't out there that people would ideally want them to be. Costs are increasing all the time. So the products that come into the market need to be well priced, well positioned, well balanced, and well thought through. And I think that's the journey that we're very committed to helping to deliver. And we've got a lot of members get involved. And if anybody's listening wants to get involved in any of our advisory panels for prop tech and things like that, we're always happy to talk to you. We've got some great people on there. But what it does do, and obviously there's people like Simon Whale, who obviously helps out greatly with his insights and design.
All right. Don't overdo it. I'm fine.
I've got some more. Yeah, I've got some titles for you.
Oh, go on. The Count of Monte Fisto. Come on, hit me with stuff.
I was going to call you Sir Simon Whale. I just thought MBE, OBE, CBE, TBE, BAR.
BSc, bronze swimming certificate, all of that stuff. All it's
You've got a swimming certificate, no chance.
I have, yeah.
You're lying.
I think one of the major things that we've got with this, though, and obviously with the Reach program as well, but we get to speak to our members so regularly now because we do all the regional conferences throughout, and we listen to what the agents say, and we've got our fantastic execs all over the country that we speak to every single month as well, that some of them have been on here, and we listen to what people say, we listen to what issues they've got, and that's what we try and do. You know, we just try to assist people out there in their everyday lives and jobs by bringing solutions, whether that be tech or assistance, whether it well-being, mental, those types of things. We can try and help everybody out there in order to do that. So yes, obviously, you know, the major thing with Propertymark is we are a membership, but at the same point, we do work very, very closely together with everybody out there to deliver the goal what they want.
It's from an outsider's point of view, which obviously I always like to think of myself as, is I think that's one, and it's perfect timing here for Zoe. Thanks for posting what I just sent you to say, Zoe. No, that's a lie. I'm so proud of how far we've come over the last few years. Jason and Nathan are trailblazers in the industry, and with the amazing team, it can only get more formidable. As long as she's not going to allow that to turn into evil, I think that absolutely, for me, summarises where it's at. You know, Propertymark has always been, you know, at the centre, but you know, if I was going to be honest, I don't think it had the strength in depth that it so clearly and markedly has now, with so many people supporting you, whether that's the VPs, whether that's the regionals. You know, it really is exceptional in terms of how many people you've got out there as thought leaders who obviously give their time and energy up for the cause.
Yeah, and do you know what? That I'm gonna quickly ad lib on that. So we've got nearly 100 execs coming with us. I've got Monday and Tuesday for full time to bring everybody together, all of our regional executives, to start looking at the next stage of evolution and what we're developing and how they're going to get involved in all of that. So I've got some exciting days this week. But I think equally, and you mentioned about the industry getting involved, Simon, you know, we've got director and vice president roles coming up, which is the beginning of the presidential team for people working through to join the presidential role. You know, and that's a 3-year process for them to become a president. For the directors, we've got those. We have been absolutely inundated with applications from that. And genuinely, every single person that applied, you just wanted to go, yeah, please, please, please. You know, and it's phenomenal, really, to see that people are getting on board. They're supporting it. You know, we're hopefully getting more and more professional. We're getting more and more impact out there. But you know, I'm absolutely humbled, and I know Jason feels exactly the same, by the feedback and the support we get out there. And we do absolutely appreciate what you guys do for us and everybody else, you know, because at the end of the day, we're all in it together, aren't we? And you know, it's strength in numbers. And, you know, for the conference we've put on, and Jason's worked tirelessly pulling this together. You know, I might berate him quite often and have a bit of fun with him, but actually, once in his life, I'm going to sing a bit of a song. He has worked very hard to try and put this together. You know, we've thought long and hard about what we do. Conferences like this are an investment, and the people that never go to them miss out. And you'll notice a lot of the conferences, the same people go again, because they see the benefit in them, not just turning up and having a jolly. It's not about that. You know, we all get more contacts from these things. We all end up experiencing more things, but you also get to have the conversations face to face that you don't normally have. Zoom's great, Teams are great, but looking someone in the eyes, having an honest conversation, business owners explaining their difficulties, how they're struggling with each other, what solutions they found, you know, it's invaluable. It's certainly been, you know, through my career and things like that. And I think we need to get more companies to come out from under their shells, get involved in the conversation, and actually get involved and find out, because it enriches them and it enriches everybody, really.
We do a lot of kind of advisory consultancy with the suppliers, and I can say, and this is where, Jason, you can either cover your ears or go red. And I've referred a few over who are obviously talking about what are the best ones to go to, and the way that they have then picked up, and then Jason's obviously taken them through what's available there, and they come back to me. Look, you know, it's lovely to hear that feedback, but just to be able to talk about that double whammy of, obviously, first of all, the volume, secondly, to have that massive conference in its own right, but then to be able to also, if they want to go for that level, the regionals as well, there are two. I mean, I think one of the reasons that you please don't be too successful, otherwise there's no need for kerfuffle, because there are a lot of suppliers who are very small and need that support, and they do come from sometimes the technical background, so they need that help and support if they're going to deliver. And yes, some of them might be a little bit wacky and a little bit weird, but some of them are genuinely delivering absolutely fantastic savings for the agents.
Yeah, and it's something that we've tried to build, and obviously it's enhanced our regional conferences because we brought in more quality suppliers that are out there. They have to go through a test with us to make sure that they're up to scratch. We've got some brilliant ones on board now, but the reason why we looked at building that side is because last year we were really lucky that we offered all of the regional conferences completely free to the members. Amazing. So that's 20 conferences throughout the country which are free to the members. So it's completing that circle which we're trying to do all the time. It's always for the members, but we need those suppliers in there because they are an intrinsic part of the business. They're coming in, obviously looking at portraying their wares, but at the same point with the revenue that comes in, we put that straight back into the membership, and we've turned it from spending £120 to come to any conference to completely free. And the feedback that we are getting from those regional ones has just been phenomenal. They're stepping up all the time as well. We're starting to break new ground with records of numbers of people that are coming in to turn up on them, and you can see the furore on social media with the people that are going to them when they're at them and afterwards, that they're learning, but at the same time they're having some fun as well, because it's a long old day at those conferences, 8 hours. You've got to have fun, and maybe in the past lots of conferences were just, you've got to learn. It's CPD, learn. And people get turned off by that. And, looking at over the past probably 12 to 18 months, lots of people, it used to be a case where people wanted specific lettings things or specific sales things. But the growth in people wanting more business acumen now is phenomenal. So they're probably all on par now, really, because people want to know how to run their business.
For me, let's look at income streams as well, Jason. Commercial, auctions, very, very valid areas of our sector, which is very easy to get swallowed up by sales and lettings, but actually commercial, massive marketplace, and we're pumping a lot into that. Auctions, I mean that's just blown out of all proportion, with certainly the models that have come out, the technology that's come out, and it's a massively exciting space, and actually there's some great income streams for people in that environment, really, and that we want to educate people into that. Really, there's opportunity for everybody to do more in our sector. You love the old Peter Knight phrase, R&D things. You and I were lucky enough to go to ARIC, which I still think has been to date, hasn't it? There's NAR, that's absolutely fantastic in terms of scale. But I think in terms of actual engagement, focus and quality, I don't know if you'd agree with me, Nathan, it really does still deliver on that. And this feels to me like it's the first UK-based one that's going down that route. Would that be fair to say, do you think? Funnily enough, I think we are drifting that way, Simon. Great memories from ARIC, and I took some great lessons from that. We spent some really intense times there, talking, networking, and understanding what they do, how they do. And I think you're probably, on reflection, probably right, whether consciously or unconsciously. I think we are building that way, and international delegates wanting to come to the conference has been great, and we've always had that splattering, but we're getting more and more activity and more involvement from overseas delegates as well. And I think we might be in a stage where next year we're specifically having to cater for international attendees, really, and probably the same way that NAR do and ARIC do. So yeah, I take that on board. I think that's a fair thing, and we want to have more bilateral agreements and working with people abroad, because what actually comes out of that is it's the little nuggets that you win with, isn't it? I mean, we saw James Tosterman, and I took lessons home from James. And James, for those who don't know, was for many, many years the highest selling agent in Australia by a country mile as an individual. And Simon and I got a very unique opportunity to spend some time with the guy. And I picked up 3 or 4 very key lessons from that I apply every single day. So, there's a lot to be said. I'd never had that opportunity if we hadn't gone Simon. So, you in a weird way may have changed my course and direction.
And that's why I do bridle a little bit that you called me the little nugget, but it's still not the worst thing I've been called. I think one of the favourite memories of last year's Propertymark One was the Americans who saw me and met me for the first time in the kilt and my other paraphernalia. I thought maybe some sort of advisory note for the international ones is kind of required and needed. Gents, I can't tell whether Graham is, because he obviously 50% of what he does is fantasy. Is there actually a competition, or has he just made this up?
Graham lives in the twilight zone.
Yes, good.
And we love Graham for that. We love Graham for his twilight.
And he'll be pissing himself that he's got me to read that out now, so I feel a little bit. I'm not good.
Exactly right. We love Graham.
Right, now here's the registration. I'm just going to post this into the comments for everyone, as I promised earlier, and I always deliver, sometimes late. And actually, speaking about late, when I came to you and asked if there's something we could do for our Kerfuffle members, Jason, you said, obviously, I've missed it as usual. So I begged for forgiveness, and I said, what can we do? And we've managed to come up with a really fantastic offer, because the early bird has gone, hasn't it, there? Yeah. But if you're a late bird, but I don't want to get in trouble with the Women in Property group. So whatever the later bird is, we've managed to get a selection of tickets that are only £160 plus VAT, aren't we? Which I think, again, coming back to it, guys, there's lots of great ones out there. This is the best value, conference you can get to over the year, isn't it? And I think that goes back to what you were saying, wasn't it, about trying to get as many people there?
And I think also we do try and make sure that this is priced in order to cover itself. So we're not in a position where we're trying to make mass profits out of an organized event or something like that. We do this to educate, inform, and bring everybody together, really. And Jace, I'll let you finish off a bit on that, really, because.
Yeah, it is. We try and make it so everybody can attend it. I think we've all been to lots of conferences where it is just generally the bosses that go along to them. Yeah. And I know that some suppliers say, well, that's all they want to see, but it's not just all about the suppliers. Sorry, guys, but it isn't. No. It is all about that learning and that education as well. So, I took great pleasure and pride in seeing so many different people at Propertymark One last year, negotiators, viewing assistants. It was fantastic to get the whole spectrum of the people that are in that office to go along, because all too often it is just certain people that go along to them, and then you're just reliant on that information being passed on secondhand, and everybody is generally busy. So the more people that we can get through the doors to actually see these people live and to have a chat and to get from your experiences that you've just alluded to by seeing these people, it'd be brilliant. And obviously you didn't do too bad a job, because Dave Garland is coming back like the Terminator. It's just people need to experience them. Yes, they can come along to the regional ones for free, as I've mentioned, but at the same point, this is a spectacular, and it's a show. It really is. We have tried to make it a show. The stage last year was fantastic. We've tried to make it a little bit better again this year. We've made the networking better. We've made sure that the food is going to be served in the same room. We've put seating areas in for people. So we're having a longer networking period as well. So we've listened to what people want, and hopefully it'll be delivered to them.
And Nathan's point about, look, we're all fantastic these days, jumping between dozens of Zoom meetings there, but there's nothing still quite like getting face to face and doing that, is there? I liked your point about it's a show. So feel free when we share this, share it out, please, across your peer networks. Please let everybody know what character you would be playing in the show that is going to be Propertymark One. But please keep it clean, apart from on the Kerfuffle group where you can say what you want. And just to say, I've just shared that group there. So everybody who wants to get along for that fantastic reduced rate. And what was it? It was the price now at the moment is 190 for members, and it's over £200, isn't it, for non-members at the moment without that?
Yeah, it is. So it is a good offer. As many people should take up on it, because don't miss it. You know, in my eyes, and there are some fantastic other conferences out there as well, which I will be attending. But, you know, we put a lot of hard work into this. We listen to what people want. I'm confident that it will be a brilliant event, show, and hopefully showpiece of the year.
Yeah. Well, that's a great one to try and aspire to, and I have absolutely no doubt you're going to do it, guys. So look, I really appreciate.
There is one more speaker as well. We certainly have, which hasn't been mentioned. We certainly have a CEO that will be as well. And I'm pretty sure that he has some very exciting announcements to make, which will only be made on that day as well. Is that correct, Mr. CEO?
You absolute. Does that mean he hasn't mentioned it yet?
Sorry, yes. We may have a few. We may have a few little things to announce, Jason. We may well.
Okay. Oh, you Steve Jobs, you property Steve Jobs, you.
Exactly right. Look, see like that. I'm in it today.
One more thing. Okay. Guys, thanks so much for taking the time. It's obviously going to be fantastic. I think for me, obviously, this is a very different sort of conference. We've said it's fantastic for suppliers and agents alike there. Go along. I mean, the point is as well, Jason, if you don't want to get involved with the suppliers, well, you know, you stay away from that and you listen to it. But all I'd be saying is spend just an hour or two in advance of the day and cherry pick those suppliers that you want to go down to. And then don't close your mind, walk around it, because there are always things that jump out at you if you're willing to have a look at it.
Yeah. And like I said, go on the app. It's a fantastic way of doing it. There's also some prizes and competitions on the app as well, where you can go around and tour all of the suppliers and win a fantastic prize.
Excellent. Well, absolutely fantastic, guys. Thank you. And those are actual competitions, not like the one that Graham, brilliant, Graham. Yeah, you jump in on that, why don't you? Somebody else's party. He's right.
Shameless, isn't he? Shameless, Simon.
Shameless. There's another smaller event that's just as tight as well there. Get in there if anyone can do. Thursday the 20th of June. And that's great from you, Graham. Thanks. But for today, guys, thanks so much for that. And please get registered up, because once those tickets are gone, they're gone. Cheerio. Thanks, everybody.